everyone. Welcome back to the weekly recess here on Jersey Nerds Productions. Mitchell Lea, Tommy Grant, and Brandon Tew back with us. Nice to be, he only joins us when the Panthers win, so we only get him for about 3 weeks out of the year. So let's go ahead and just dive right into the Week 9, and we're going to go ahead and just start off with the happiness that was Thursday Night Football. New York Jets beating the Houston Texans 21-13, and it felt to me like the Jets kept their season alive in that game, and we'll get to the future of the Jets soon enough. But for this game, it just felt like Rodgers, 3 touchdowns, Garrett Wilson, the one-handed catch of the year, decade, whatever you want to call it. It was a great play, revitalized the Jets in that game. Devontae Adams looked great, and it was the first time he really looked like Devontae Adams since joining the Jets. And that edge rush duo of Hassan Reddick and Will McDonald was unbelievable. I know, Brandon, you had been a big champion of Will McDonald.
Oh, he's my dude.
Since watching him at Iowa State. You were the Cyclones guy. So props to you, because I just didn't think edge was as big of a need in that draft. But, oh, man, this guy's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, at Iowa State, he was definitely like an every down, third down, all 3 downs type of pass rusher. And it didn't always show up on like production wise getting to the quarterback, but like if you just watched Iowa State week in and week out, that dude was like abusing like tackles. And
well, they also played him at like D tackle every now and then.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
They really misused him.
They would move him like down and stuff because he was that good. Like they would shade him all the way to like the 3 spot, the 3 technique and stuff like that. So like he would be moved all over the line. I think with the Jets, if you just line him up at 5 or 9 and you just let him go, like that's when he's at his best. And like, yeah,
I'm convinced he has no bones.
That
he
too.
Just bends in a way where it feels inhuman.
Yeah, not to get too like technical on like scouting guys, but like the bend at which he like gets around tackles and the way he gets like low to the ground and basically turns the corner hard, like that's stuff that you saw in college that you were like, man, if you just line this guy up at wide 9 and just let him like rush the passer as hard as he possibly can, like he's probably gonna wreck some people. And to be honest, well, if we're talking about edge, like you really only get that opportunity like 2 or 3 times a game. So I mean, but Will McDonald, definitely showed out. And yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, Rodgers like actually looked like Rodgers a little bit, which was nice to see.
Play every game on Thursday Night Football because he's been great on Thursday Night Football this year.
Yeah, no, it seems like he shows up on Thursday nights. Utilized. I don't know if I don't know if he's doing something on Wednesday nights that allows him to play better on Thursday nights. Maybe he's taking some.
Move that back to Saturday nights from now on. We don't have any more of those games left.
Maybe he's doing some darkness retreats, but it sounded very bleak before last Thursday.
We had dumbass Malachi Corley dropping the ball the 1 yard line.
So yeah, it was a good showing by the Jets, though. They actually looked like a team with real talent, which you really can't say they were doing that for most of the year this year. So,
well, I'd say they looked like a team. They looked like individuals with talent, but they didn't look like a team.
There we go.
And
that's a good.
This was the first time where I really felt like they were playing like a team. That's really encouraging. But also, I thought the Texans. The bigger story for me was the Texans' offensive line. Like Stroud might get killed.
Yeah, I might have a little bit of a shocker later on in terms of teams we're picking this week. But I don't feel great about the Texans in terms of their offensive line, but I think they might do some things differently to like help Stroud out a little bit and get the ball in the playmakers' hands and stuff like that. Like 2 weeks ago, Tank Dell was basically MIA. And so it's just like, I mean, they need to figure stuff out. Joe Mixon needs to run the ball more, but they're kind of decimated.
He's running the ball maybe better than he ever has before.
Right,
he's
exactly, 100%. No, he looks great. He doesn't look like the running back that was in Cincinnati, to be honest. So yeah, he looks fantastic, and I feel like they're a little bit decimated by injuries on the O-line. And it's just like
Nico's coming back soon too, and the Stroud-Nico connection is one of the best,
real.
If not top 3 in the NFL right now. Like they're killing it.
That pairing's real. So yeah, I'm optimistic about the Texans being better But yeah, it starts with maybe we don't hold the ball as long with Cheetah shot. So yeah.
All right, Tommy, let's go over to your Miami Dolphins. I know we kind of talked about this a little bit briefly
Fins up.
yesterday, but 30-27 loss to the Buffalo Bills. I'm not going to say their season is dead just yet because the Jets were 2-6 going into the game against the Texans. Since you've had your bye, you still need one more game because I think that you can get to the playoffs in the AFC. I think 10-7 definitely gets you in. 9-8 could. Right? This isn't the NFC where it's just loaded.
I think they could pull it off with how they actually performed this past week. I was shocked because I was expecting another.
Tua was good.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I was expecting the Bills to just walk all over them. I was expecting Tua to get hurt again because he always seems to get hurt when he plays the Bills.
Yeah.
So I was just waiting for that to happen, and there was two moments. Like I've told this to Mitchell several times, but two moments where I actually had a Mitchell moment where I screamed at my TV, which I rarely do during football.
Only two?
Only two moments. The first one was.
I think I screamed at that game more than you then.
Well, I'm very reserved when I watch. I just like to enjoy it. But I had the first moment, it was about halfway through the game when Tua was running the ball and he decided to dive head first to get the first down. I jumped off my couch and screamed, "Are you fucking stupid? Like, you have a head injury. Don't dive head first. You slide." I thought that was a basic concept all quarterbacks knew. Apparently Tua forgot.
Not Tua.
He's a gamer. He's a gamer.
That memory was knocked out of his head. So that was the first moment. And the second moment, obviously, is the ending of the game. 10 seconds. The fucking asshole kicker that can't just kick random extra points because he missed the first one. The second one hit the goalpost, still went in, but hit the post. But yet manages to pull off a 61-year-old
61-year-old field goal.
Yeah.
Well, you might as well went back in time and kicked it.
Yeah.
It perfectly clean down the center.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
So
I literally just sat back on my couch and just yelled. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
So Tyler Bass is weird because my man misses PATs and like does weird stuff, but he clearly has leg talent and the ability to kick the ball. And,
so should the Bills just make him kick from the 50-yard line?
I mean, they really should. They should
a short range kicker and a long range kicker.
No,
that used to be a thing.
It used to be a thing, kind of. I remember when the Panthers had Reese Lloyd for like kickoffs.
Yeah,
that one
it's
year.
back in the days when making 50+ yard kicks
was like not a thing. Yeah,
it was like every third of those kicks would go in. Whereas now, if you line up a kicker from 52, you expect that kick to go in.
Yeah, I still think in like college,
Greg fucking Zuerlein as your kicker.
Right. I still think in like college, you just like don't expect 50-yarders. But in the NFL, it's almost like driven back to the point where if your guy can't kick a 55 or 58-yard field goal,
what are you doing?
What are we doing? We can find someone.
We had Brandon Aubrey lining up to kick a 71-yarder
right.
at the beginning of the year. And the best part was everyone watching that broadcast was convinced he would have made it too.
Oh yeah, well that too. But yeah, I think the Dolphins looked obviously better.
They look the best they have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
something given Tua being out for so long.
And it also is saying something because they won games where they looked better. So yeah, I mean they looked really good.
And the Dolphins did what they did best and just spread the wealth across all their players. You had Achane, Mossert, Wright, Hill, Achane running and receiving. Smith all got about 50 yards.
I feel like Jonnu Smith was getting a lot of targets in that offense. It felt like he got the ball a lot.
So Jonnu Smith gets a lot of targets, and him and the Saints tight end just like eat up targets. And
Juwan Johnson,
him and Juwan Johnson just eat targets.
They threw it to everybody.
No, they did, but that's Tua's biggest strength. Is Tua distributes the ball.
You never know where it's going to go, but if they're running it, 9 times out of 10 they're giving to fucking Achane.
Yeah,
I'm happy to have him on my fantasy team because he.
I wish Jimbo Fisher might still be at Texas A&M if he knew how to give David Achane the ball.
Yeah. They might have beaten App State.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Jimbo Fisher had no idea what he had when Achane, But yeah, I mean, they've got obviously they got skill players and they have talent, and I'm
Jalen
almost
Waddle had
waiting.
-4 yards.
Yeah, I'm almost waiting for Waddle or Hill to like break out. But I honestly, at this point, I'm almost at the point where they have so much weapons that like I think the Dolphins have a chance, like you were saying, Mitchell, to kind of make a playoff run because that AFC East is just it's not good. So
Well, let's look at it this
yeah,
way, okay? The Jets and Dolphins play on December 8th, MetLife Stadium. The Jets
whoever wins that game is
have they play the Cardinals, or they
lost.
go to Arizona. Hey, we'll get to picks. They go to Arizona, then they host the Colts and Seahawks.
Yeah.
Then they have a bye, or rather, I think it's Colts bye Seahawks. One of those two. The Dolphins have at the Rams, then maybe the two most winnable games in the history of the NFL. Home to the Raiders, home to the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go to Green Bay, and then they play the Jets. So
Yeah.
if both of those teams can make it to, if somehow they can get there without a loss, I think it's more possible for the Jets than it is for the Dolphins to get to that MetLife game without a loss because, I mean, at Rams, at Packers,
Yeah,
that's going to be, and both of those are primetime games.
You almost need to split one of those games, probably. You need to
I don't
split
think they can. I don't think they can
afford to split. Yeah.
Well, no, because after that Jets game, it's at Texans, 49ers, at Browns, at Jets. Or sorry, that December 8th game's in Miami.
Oh, well.
So they end 3 of 4 on the road, and
because of global warming. Sorry, I don't want to get to because of global warming.
Hey, it was 82 degrees today.
That's what I'm saying. They will have weather on their side when the Jets go down to Miami.
Hey man, I'm not going to come down on you for that. It was 82 damn degrees. It's November 7th.
They'll definitely make that game like a 1 p.m. kickoff and not flex it to like something ridiculous. So yeah, I'm of the mindset that the Dolphins have a chance at the playoffs, but it's just tough for the fact that they were basically playing non-playable characters at quarterback. I mean, but
you're not wrong.
Not at all.
No. But, and I'm not trying to be mean, but like they also paying too.
Mean
Dolphins fans will be the first to say it.
Yeah. But the problem is they're also paying Tua all this money, and I don't blame anyone in that situation because I think you give Tua.
I wouldn't have paid him, but
okay, sure, but I mean, either you pay him or you let him walk. So I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah. I mean,
I would have made the tough decision to make that someone else's problem, and
right. No, I'm with you. I mean, the Giants should have done the same thing with Daniel Jones. I mean, that's where we're at. But they decided to pay him.
Wrapped up. A lot of teams they have mid quarterbacks. And I don't mean the way the kids say mid. I mean actual like middle of the road quarterbacks. They give them big contracts because they don't want to be in the situation of the Panthers, so to speak, where they don't have a quarterback. And let's segue into Saints Panthers. The Saints,
yes,
this was rock bottom for the Saints. They fired their coach.
Is Bikini Bottom an answer there? Are they at the bottom of the sea?
No, this is the place where they all go. That place where that's under Bikini Bottom.
Okay, yeah,
where it's dark and he keeps waiting for the bus.
Yes.
That's where the Saints are right now. Yeah. So they're stuck with
their kelp bar. Yeah, trying to get their kelp bar.
They have nothing but awful contracts. They have no coach. It's going to be the least desirable head coaching opening since post BOB Texans. And it's gonna be rough for the Saints, but let's talk about the Panthers here.
Sure.
Bryce Young. Look, I think that a lot of people have gotten a little overboard. Like, oh, Bryce Young finally showed he was the chosen one. No, Bryce Young.
I didn't see any of that.
I know you didn't, but I
don't know what echo chamber you're on.
I just looked at that and said, all right, that looks like something that the Panthers can work with. Let's not go back to Andy Dalton.
He looks like
let's see how this goes. I really liked what I saw out of Jatavian Sanders.
Yep.
I thought that's a nice security blanket for Bryce Young to work with. I'm excited. Chuba Hubbard's had a great season, but I'm really excited to see.
Did he finally just get paid? He just got paid, right?
He just got paid.
Yeah.
But they also get Jonathan Brooks back. or
Yep.
not back. They get him at just his
Speaking of
NFL
Texas A&M
debut.
running backs who don't get the ball, no, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm
that
just
was
kidding.
just Texas running
I'm
backs.
kidding.
But
Texas running backs, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They traded Jonathan Mingo for a 4th round pick in, the greatest thievery of all time.
But then they got less for Deontay. Like it was wild to
They got
me.
nothing for Deontay. It
They
was
got
like,
nothing for Deontay.
yeah,
I feel like Deontay might have been more of like a let's get this guy out of the building type of thing. Which
everywhere
why?
he's gone, it seemed like he's been a little bit of a locker room disaster.
But my whole thing is why bring him in? Why bring him in the first place? If it's like I get it.
Maybe they didn't know.
I mean maybe, but like that's what it felt like. But I do think the Mingo moving off of him, like whatever. I actually liked Mingo out of college. I didn't think, but I mean it is what it is. Like it just didn't work out. Like
I didn't
you
like him
sent
at
me
a 2nd round pick, but
sure,
I
but
thought he'd certainly be better than this.
You sent me a tweet where it was like he ranked 72nd out of 72, last out of all like receivers.
I saw the greatest thing ever. It was like as far as like open or like route run success or something like that percentage.
Yep.
And they said he was in the 0th percentile. I have never seen it put like that. He's in the 0th percentile.
Yeah. He's
that's bad.
Yeah. I mean, it just is what it is. I will say with Bryce Young, and I said this in one of the group chats we're in, Mitchell. I believe it was one of the fantasy chats we're in. That was a game where I'm glad Bryce Young got confidence. I'm glad he played well. But that's a game where the Panthers probably didn't need to win that game, and they probably hurt themselves by winning that game because they won it.
So you hurt yourself on a multitude of reasons because the Panthers get the win, the Saints fired their coach, and now they're officially in full-on tank mode. They traded Marshawn Lattimore to the Washington Commanders,
what was
and
with the
now
whole Greg
you're fighting
Roman
with
thing?
What about Greg Roman?
So wasn't Greg Roman on the Saints? Why is he in San Diego? Why Los Angeles? Like what happened? Like I don't understand like what happened to the Saints. Like they just fell apart. Like
Sean Payton left, Drew Brees retired.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah. I mean,
and all of their leadership went with it. And they hired a bad coach. They kept kicking the can down the road, thinking we can still compete. They gave out bad contracts to 3 different quarterbacks, and Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, and Derek Carr.
I will say Derek Carr.
Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas was the focal point of their offense, and he kept getting hurt. Ryan Ramczyk is a focal point of their offensive line. He had a random, potentially career-ending injury come out of nowhere. They've picked really badly the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, their drafts have been pretty bad. But
Peyton Turner on round 1 is a disaster. They picked Isaiah Foskey early, so they haven't been able to really revamp that defensive line in the way that they've needed to ever since Cameron Jordan fell off and other guys have came and gone.
Yeah, I mean, this is really like we were saying earlier, the abyss for the Saints, and yeah, I like the way the Panthers are playing to just make it a more positive spin. Let's get off the Saints and more onto the Panthers playing well. But yeah, I do think Bryce looked fine. Like he looked. I mean, there's a reason he was drafted number 1 overall. Whether you believe that he should have been drafted number 1 overall, whether you believe like he was
whether the Panthers staffers at the time wanted to pick him number 1 overall or not.
Yeah, completely fair because there might have been some up above decisions there. But the idea is that whether
that's from
or
Dave
not,
Tepper, not the Lord.
Right. Oh yeah. Sorry, I want to clarify that lowercase g, not uppercase. But in the grand scheme of things, I think Bryce Young, there's enough there to actually win games, and especially like against the Giants coming up in Germany. Like anyone has a chance. That's a toss up to me. Like, it really
anyone watching that game that isn't a fan of either of those 2 teams,
I might not get up.
I'm gonna be honest.
I might.
Yeah,
I just might watch the highlights later. I might watch the highlights later.
All right, let's.
I do like if Chris Rose is doing play-by-play, I'll be okay with that because I do like Chris Rose on play-by-play.
Tommy, I'll start with you. Other teams, any big takeaways from Week 9?
I would say 2. One of them, Buccaneers almost beating the Chiefs and knocking them off the undefeated for the season. and the fact that the Jaguars had a nice comeback in the second half of the game with the Eagles.
So your takeaways were, man, these teams definitely did lose.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the Jaguars are done. They're 2-7.
well, the fact that
They're done.
They put up a decent fight against the Eagles. I wasn't too.
I don't think they did. I think that was the Eagles. I think that was Nick Sirianni just losing his brain at the door.
Fair.
Well,
I don't think he's a good coach at all.
Yeah, but
he got bailed out by just being the more talented team and having Saquon Barkley doing insane things like hurdling people backwards.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, that's fair. We'll see how that goes, because I don't think the Eagles. I mean, obviously they have talent. That's not the question. It's just it's all the other.
Brandon, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go Eagles because I just think the Cowboys are bad. I don't really...
the Cowboys are done.
Yeah,
the season is done.
There's no doubt about that.
And I don't think we see Dak again this season.
So this is my whole point bringing up Greg Roman in Los Angeles is he was on the market. Well, no, but like he was on the market. So like, how do the Chargers like get him? But like
Harbaugh.
the Saints or the Eagles can't go get him, or someone.
Harbaugh.
I mean, yeah, I guess. You're right.
That's why.
It's just like, come on. Also, why did John let him go? Okay, that is a whole different scenario. He's like,
John let him go. Well, I'm not even mad that John let him go because you've watched the Ravens recently.
No, they've looked awesome. They've looked awesome without Greg Roman.
Do you want to doubt Todd Monken?
But we all know Greg Roman's a good offensive coordinator, and my whole point is these teams are like banging their heads against the wall, like trying to find good play callers, and there's actually a good play caller out there on the market, and they just like did not go get him. But yeah, I completely, now that you mention it that way, Harbaugh is the reason he went there. But like,
he was an easy scapegoat for the lack of playoff success.
Also, just to take it back to the Eagles with play calling, like what's going on with Kellen Moore? Like, why are we trying to make Hurts the focal point of the offense? He shouldn't be the focal point. He should be the complementary piece, the complementary quarterback, distributing the ball like Tua does to all these weapons around him. Why are you trying to make him the focal point? He shouldn't be the focal point of any offense. And that's not to say Jalen Hurts isn't a good QB, because he is. But I just don't think he can be the focal point of an offense and drop back and try to throw the ball X amount of times. Like, that's just not going to work. Like, most of his big plays are him scrambling out of the pocket. So, yeah, I mean, give me the Eagles because the Cowboys are in, desperation land. But, yeah, I don't like either team in this situation. So, yeah.
One of my big takeaways from this week was teams that look like they're just done. The Cowboys, definitely one of those. And one of the things that I was ready to say, well, the Patriots just suck to begin with. One of the teams that I was going to come on here before, we didn't end up doing this show last week. Or did we? I think we. I think we did.
We did last week. It was the week before that we did.
I wasn't here.
Oh,
so
no,
the
we
Panthers
did.
lost, so I didn't show up.
I remember. No, let me not memory hold this. I said this. I said I think the Bears are going to let the game against the Commanders beat them for multiple weeks, and that is exactly what happened against Arizona. They looked awful against the Cardinals. Terrible. Arizona ran all over them. Caleb Williams, Bo Nix has looked better than Caleb Williams this year. I think if we're honest with ourselves, that's the honest takeaway, is that he is. I'm not saying that Caleb Williams is going to be better or Bo Nix is going to be better long term, but so far this season, Bo Nix has definitely been better than Caleb Williams. He looked terrible.
Can we have the Caleb Williams conversation? Like,
okay, from the look on your face, you look like you're just on a very different plane than me.
I'm with you that he's looked awful, but I think in Chicago, they've been bad. Like the run game.
I'm not saying it's all on. Look, Swift and the run game have been fine, at least recently.
But the scheme is weird. The scheme
Waldron is awful, and Eberflus has completely lost the locker room.
Right.
That definitely has something to do with it, but Caleb Williams also... I'm not getting the most
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think they
rally the
protect
troops
themselves either.
type
Well,
from
he's
him.
not
He
that type
seems
of guy. He's not. I
no.
mean, and look, maybe you shouldn't take that guy number one, or maybe you shouldn't take him number one overall, or like maybe you shouldn't be the top QB in a draft. But he's not the type of rally rah rah QB. Like he's
I'm not
not.
even
Like
saying
he's
that. I'm saying he just seems like the type that if the team's doing bad, his head's hung
he's
low,
doing bad. Okay,
and
yeah.
yeah, not that he's not like the big speech guy, but just in the fact that if the
No.
team is sinking, he's sinking along with them, and it doesn't help.
It's the same stuff that people said about Cam Newton. Like the body
I
language
got a
just
very
looks
but Cam Newton,
weird.
at least I got a little bit more of a
Let me put this in my own hands
let me
type
put
of
this in
thing.
my own hands, and that teammates kind of looked to Cam and they saw this guy can do this shit, right?
Right.
They had
I
faith in
still
him to
think
be able
Caleb.
to, yeah.
To be fair, I still think Caleb is like Caleb Williams, and I think he's gonna figure
But
it
he
out
is
if
Caleb
the
Williams.
coaching. Well, if the coaching gets better, I think there's a lot of like weird decisions, like handing the ball to a fullback on the goal line
No,
2 weeks
wasn't a
ago.
fullback. That was a backup offensive lineman.
Well, even worse.
They have a
That was my
fullback.
point. Yeah,
His
that was
name
my
is Corey
point.
Blazingame, and he's a
Yeah,
beast. But no,
they
they just gave it to a backup offensive lineman who probably hadn't handled the ball since he was 9 years old, playing
that's
backyard with his dad.
But that goes down to scheme and coaching and deciding to call a certain play. Like when you have a guy like Caleb Williams, put the ball in his hands and let him try to win you a game. Like that's what I don't understand. There's a disconnect there, and that was my whole point with Caleb. It's yes, he's looked really not as good as other rookie QBs, but I also think he's in like the worst situation outside of
I
Bryce
no,
Young.
he's no, he's not. No, he's not.
Oh
He's
well,
got so
Drake
much
May.
talent
I mean
around
Drake
him.
May, sure,
Drake
but
May's in a bad spot. Who the hell is Bo Nix throwing the ball to? Yes, the coaching is a lot better.
Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, but Cortland Sutton's not as good as DJ Moore. I mean, DJ Moore's been
I'm
rough this year.
I'm also
but
not here to defend DJ Moore because I actually think some of the stuff with DJ Moore is a little off right
he's
now
just
too.
been strange.
There
man.
was one play I think last week where he like stopped running a route after Caleb extended a play, and I'm like,
yeah,
dude, Caleb extended the play. Like, why are we walking?
yeah, and it's not like Peyton Manning just broke out of sacks or something, And you're like, oh, I really didn't expect that. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Caleb Williams does that, and does that regularly.
That's why he got drafted number one overall, is because he does stuff like that. And so it's like, yeah, I just don't. I still believe in Caleb long term, but I do think that they've lost the locker room a little bit, and they need to get it back. And also the whole Tyreek Stevenson thing is just like all of that was really bad. So
Eberflus is gonna be gone. And then Caleb's gonna have to start over in the second year with a new coach and a new system, the same way Trubisky did, same way Fields did.
Have you heard Big Cat from PFT?
No.
Sorry, pardon my takes. Huge, big brain plan.
No.
Lincoln Riley goes to the Bears.
I think USC would be more than willing to accommodate that right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's this huge thing where like Lincoln Riley goes to the Bears, someone else goes to USC. It's like this huge map, but like the idea is the Bears would still be bad when Lincoln Riley killed.
Well, he won't play defense.
And I was like, that's so funny. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on over to week 10 with our picks for the week.
Yeah,
Bengals Ravens is actually going on. Bengals and Ravens is going on right this second. And so despite the fact that the Bengals are currently winning the game, I am taking the Ravens because that's who I was going to take. I'm going to be an integral man of my word. Go on Baltimore. And I still think Baltimore finds a way to win this game, although the Bengals, Burrow's thrown the ball 29 times in the first half. They have been killing it with time of possession.
I hope all of it's Jamar Chase. I know it's not going to be watching, but
no,
actually,
he's got 4 catches for 52 yards.
Yeah, it's actually like quick. Let me change my pick because I'm not a man of integrity. Wait, hold on.
Well, I'm watching the game and the Bengals are winning, so I'm going to go with the Bengals here.
No, I also had the Ravens. I had the Ravens coming into the game. I actually thought the Bengals would cover though, so I'm on the Bengals or cover train, and I believe that
I actually thought so too.
Yeah, that line started at 5.5, so that's where I'm at. Is I think they cover.
But
So
I thought it was going to be a backdoor cover, so
fair enough. Yeah,
I'm
fair
very
enough.
stupid.
I
Tommy?
do like the Ravens this year though. Speaking of their offense and getting rid of Greg
Oh
Roman,
yeah.
I love the Ravens this year. I think they've been really awesome.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens on this one.
Awesome.
All right.
In the sweep, and now the Bengals are definitely going to win.
Yeah, absolutely. We game so bad we sent it to Germany. Maybe it'll, maybe we
I was
charge
going to make
Germany
a
with some
joke, but I'll make a joke
Germany.
off the podcast.
Maybe we
'cause that
charge
joke
Germany
isn't-
with some tariffs or something. I don't know. Giants, Panthers, the battle of 2-7 teams.
Who
Might be
cares?
too expensive to bring them
Yeah.
home. Then you know what? Keep them, Germany. We don't want them. I'm going with the Giants to win
This
this
is
thing.
our last act of war.
Yep.
I'm just kidding. Panthers. I actually think the Panthers
going Giants.
absolutely screwed themselves out of a better pick.
They beat two straight teams you're competing with for bottom picks.
I mean,
Aw,
it's really
man.
funny. It's actually funny. Like I think there's something there with Bryce Young, and maybe they're shopping him this season, and they're going to draft Quinn Ewers or. I mean, I definitely know.
Well, I don't think that would be the right pick right now.
I definitely know Deion Sanders isn't letting Shador play in Carolina. So.
Hell no, Shadur's going to Vegas.
Yeah, fair. But
Let him have it.
Give me Panthers, and they tank their pick even more.
Tommy, you do have to pick someone.
I said Giants.
Yeah, he said Giants.
Oh,
I talked over him.
I thought you said I'm not picking this game pass. And fair, but
give me the little Giants in the annexation.
Yes, that is the Giants team we need.
Patriots and Bears. You
Uh,
know what? I actually wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, rip him out of retirement.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots found a way to win this game. I'm not picking them, but I definitely pick them to cover.
So I did misspeak. Drake May is clearly in the worst rookie QB situation you could possibly be in. It's kind of bizarre to me that Mayo was handpicked to be the head coach of this team.
He's awful.
And he's not been good as head coach so far. Maybe they can turn it around, though. I do think Drake May, give him a little bit of life. I'm going to say Patriots cover, Bears win.
You say give him a little bit of life?
Yeah, I mean...
he needs a lot of life.
Yeah, he does need a lot of life. I will say the run game with Drake May and just how he's able to scramble and run and get outside the pocket, that does help the Patriots a little bit.
Let's just say it's a little sad that out of an entire team, your quarterback is the only one that got the most yards.
Well, I was going to say he rushed for like 98 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the closest player on that team in yardage was Hunter Henry that had 56.
Yeah, it's not
great.
So you basically doubled your highest.
Did Ramondre even do anything last week? He scored a touchdown. But I do not remember Ramondre Stevenson at all last week.
So we're all taking Chicago?
Yeah, yes. I will say, Mitchell, you will back me up on this with the Drake May pre-draft stuff.
No, I won't. No, I'm just kidding.
I thought he was a little bit of Herbert light. So I do think that's playing out a little bit. That he's a little bit
thought he was Herbert light, but I liked Daniels more because I saw a little bit more of a more polished Lamar Jackson coming out.
No, that's fair. I'm just saying that the Herbert light stuff seems to be in the correct mold, I guess, is what I was getting at.
Speaking of mold, let's talk about Joe Flacco and the Indianapolis Colts.
What is that? Okay. He's old. He's old. I get it now.
He is old, and this team has no identity. I think the Bills beat the Colts by 86.5. No, I'm just kidding. But I do think it's like a two possession plus win for Buffalo on the road against the Colts. And the Colts go into such a spiral that they might go back to Richardson.
I think it's Josh Down season, but outside of that, Bills all the way. It's Bills.
I'm not allowed to root against the Bills here in Buffalo, so
great call.
I think you're wearing a Bills sweater right now.
I know. I'm part of the Colt, dude.
Wow,
you're a really good Dolphins fan. Broncos at Chiefs in Arrowhead. The Broncos got just demolished by the Ravens. But that wasn't so much of a takeaway of like the Broncos are fraudulent to me. It was more just like, holy crap, the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens are that good. I will say this line is in scary territory. They're making sure you don't tease anything. They're making sure you don't bring the points down. 9.5. That's a lot of points. So
Wait, what are you looking at? I'm seeing 7.5.
oh, I think it was originally 9.5. So it's gone down a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, no, it's been bet down because the Chiefs never win by more than one possession.
Right, exactly. So
Everything's close.
all of that to say, I think the Chiefs win. They don't cover. Classic Chiefs move.
Same. Tomas.
It's all about the Chiefs, man.
Yeah, they're gonna go 9-0. They're gonna lose one of these games.
The Bills will beat them.
They're gonna lose one of these games, but I
so?
refuse to pick against them. Is what I'm gonna say.
Maybe Pittsburgh, because I think the Steelers are kind of for real. And speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the best game.
I'm excited for this game.
The best game of the day. I think there's a better one coming at night, but Steelers Commanders at 1:00. And I think Pittsburgh goes on the road and wins. I've really liked what I've seen from Russell Wilson so far. And I also think they're going to be able to run the ball.
Last season.
No, because he was in Denver looking terrible.
I'm saying
last year he wasn't
based
awful.
off last year.
Last year he wasn't awful. It wasn't like 2022 where it's like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
He was just fine.
Now Mike Tomlin looks like a little bit of a genius by going up to Wilson away from Fields.
Yeah, no. And I think they win this game.
Cool. Dude, I love the Commanders. Their offensive line. Oh yeah, I'm picking them. Their offensive line is nasty. Give me the commies.
I'm picking Commanders as well, although I would like to see the Steelers win. I think the Commanders are going to take this one.
Jaden Daniels is for real.
It's going to be a close game either way, I think.
Yeah, it's good.
NFC South, I was watching way too much damn election coverage on Tuesday, and so I heard a lot of the terms too early to call and too close to call. And I don't think it's either of those as far as calling the winner of the NFC South. I think the Atlanta Falcons, I think I can call it for the Atlanta Falcons personally. It might be a little too early.
Only you can watch the presidential election and compare it to football.
Oh, no, someone can. Yeah, and let me tell you, the Patriots won the Super Bowl again. But, I'm going with the Falcons to curb stomp the Saints. Let's be honest. This is going to be bad. The Saints are a team that is defeated, dejected, and I know some people are like, well, they might get the interim head coach bump. I don't think this is that team.
So the AP press put out like you can't use these terms to like identify stuff.
Oh
like,
I saw that. That was awful.
You can't go home runs like dingers. So I'm sure they would not
you can't say unanswered points. Like watch me.
They wouldn't like Mitchell's I would say subjective or maybe objective use of curb stomp in his byline, but I do agree with him. I think the Falcons are going to light the dumpster fire that is the Saints on fire. So give me Falcons.
They're gonna light a dumpster fire on even more fire.
It's the
Guess
meme.
what? More flames.
It's gonna be SpongeBob's brain. It's gonna be fire.
Here goes some more fire for you.
Yeah. So,
Tommy, what do you think?
It's gonna be big. I think. Yeah.
All right, San Francisco at Tampa Bay.
Tommy had Falcons, by the way, right? Sorry.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I know Tommy. He's got a brain in his head.
Okay. Yeah.
49ers at Buccaneers. It's not a big one, but you got it. Tampa Bay at San Francisco, or rather, San Francisco at Tampa Bay. I don't care if this game's played in the damn moon. I'm taking San Francisco because I just don't think Baker's got the help around him. He had to put the damn cape on against Kansas City, and sometimes that thing can get a little too heavy. And I think this is one of those games where Baker's like 185 yards, a touchdown, 3 INTs. Hey man, I put that shit on, and it
obviously didn't watch The Incredibles or Incredibles 2. You can't
no capes.
Never wear the cape.
No capes.
Yeah, maybe that's why they lose all the time. I'm just getting into jet engines.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Seriousness, Mitchell, do you have a Jets cape at home?
No, but I do have a blanket that every now and then I will wear.
As cape.
I'm not even kidding. Yeah, I'm cold. I call myself Super Doofus.
Give me 49ers because we're in almost like desperation territory here. They
Well, they
kind of
both
need
are.
this. But the 49ers, I feel like, need it more. So, narrative wise, I'm going to say 49ers.
I'm gonna go the Bucks on this one.
Hey,
I'm flipping the coin.
Baker could, bake up a baker's dozen or something. I don't know. We'll see. 13 points and they win. They win 13-10 or something.
Minnesota and Jacksonville. By the way, Mac Jones getting the start for
He's
Jacksonville
starting
in
for
this game.
Jacksonville. What happened to
Trevor
Trevor?
Lawrence? I think he's got like an oblique or something like that. I don't know. But either way,
Stay
this season is
healthy.
done for
Doug
Jacksonville.
Peterson might be on the way. I don't know. I know you don't listen to a lot of Bill Simmons, Mitchell, because Bostonian. But
hell no.
Bill Simmons and cousin Sal have coined Doug.
Sal, what is this, the fucking bear?
They've coined Doug Peterson middle seat Doug because he's gonna get on the plane and not get back at some point. So
what does that have to do with the middle seat?
No. It was because they lost in London and they thought they were gonna can him after they lost in London, and he was gonna be flying in the middle seat because
they played 2 games in London and they won the second one. That's the important.
So he saved his job, but I think eventually Doug is on his way out. So yeah, give me
I feel bad for
give
Trevor.
me Vikings by a lot.
I think we're going Vikings across the board.
Yeah, it's another sweep. This is a pretty bad week for sweeps.
No, it's not gonna get better here. Titans at Chargers.
Chargers all the way out.
You think I'm taking Mason Rudolph?
Offensive coordinators. I like Greg Roman. Let's go.
Take a shot every time Brandon mentions Greg Roman today.
I'm sorry. I watched all 22 breakdown of Herbert the other day.
Greg Roman.
So Greg Roman. A lot of Greg Roman.
Greg Roman. We're all taking the Chargers. All right, Eagles and Cowboys.
J.K. Dobbins
it's not
really
getting
good, by the way.
This is not getting better.
No, it's not.
In
I
the Jerry Dome.
My pick earlier because we were talking about the Eagles. I was so frustrated. I just went straight to just picking the Eagles against the Cowboys. No analysis here. The Cowboys are bad, so Eagles.
Dallas has not won a home game this season.
And
the last time they played a home game, they lost by 38. And now they don't have Jalen Hurts. And their next home game after this is against the Texans. And then they go to Washington. Yes, Dallas, your season is over. You're screwed. Goodbye. Good night, Philadelphia.
CeeDee Lamb has been pretty bad against press coverage this year.
He's probably pretty bad without Dak Prescott too.
Yeah. So give me Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles. I need CeeDee Lamb to do well because he's on my fantasy team, but it's looking bad.
So it's funny. I said I wouldn't give any analysis, and then I gave CeeDee Lamb's bad against press coverage. So clearly, I care enough to give some analysis. But
okay. All right, this one might have some differing opinions across the board. The New York Jets versus the leader in the NFC West. Believe it or not, the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray looking good. Cardinals running the hell out of the ball, ignoring Marvin Harrison Jr. and his existence.
What week was it that you asked who's going to win the NFC West? I forget what week it was. But
week 4, and I said the Seahawks.
I was on the fence, Cardinals, Seahawks, and my head told me Cardinals because every single week, Mitchell, I don't know if you noticed, I've picked the Cardinals. So are we going to buck that trend this week? Hell no. We're still picking the Cardinals.
All right, Tommy?
I'm going Jets on this one.
All right. I am taking...
Also, Kyler's putting the Call of Duty pod.
Okay. Then I might change my damn pick and go Jets. If it's Call of Duty week, then the Cardinals
Call of Duty
are losing
week
this
was
game.
2 weeks ago, so he's put that to bed, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take Arizona, but I will give you this prediction.
Hold the fuck on. The non-Jets fan here is the one rooting for the Jets.
I'm still rooting for the Jets. I'm just picking the Cardinals. But also, I will tell you this.
It is a toss-up pick 'em.
I will make this prediction right here, right now. If the Jets win this game, the Jets are making the playoffs.
Yikes!
If they win this game, I don't think they will.
Sir.
I don't think because I think if they win this game, they beat the Colts, then they beat the Seahawks. They're 6-6 going into that game against the Dolphins. And then I just think that the ball of momentum just keeps rolling and they find a way in. But I think if they lose this game, it's done. And I expect them to lose this game because the Cardinals do the one thing the Jets can't stop, and that's run that piss out of the football. So I think the Cardinals win this game, and it's a heartbreaker for the New York Jets. Game of the week, as far as I'm concerned, Sunday Night Football, Detroit Lions at Houston Texans. And look, you can hold a gun to my head, and hey, maybe in a couple years that'll be the case. Yeah, I'm sure some people do.
Well,
Detroit Lions, Houston Texans. You can't make me pick against the Detroit Lions. I don't think I've picked against them in a single game this season. I've bet on them every game this season. It usually works out for me. I am a big believer in the Detroit Lions. I think they're the best team in football, and that's why I'm picking the Texans to win this game. No, I'm just kidding. Go on the Lions.
Well, some would think differently, Mitchell.
So
and that I look at Brandon.
I agree with everything you said, Mitchell.
Hey.
There's one game a week where something weird happens and it's Twilight Zone. I think the Texans bounce back. They get back in the conversation. Give me Texans over Lions in a nasty, disgusting game.
But before Mitchell goes off, I'm just going to put my vote in and say I'm going for the Lions. Mitchell, go ahead.
All right. I'm just saying that the Detroit Lions defensive tackle combo
of
Lee McNeil and DJ Reader might single-handedly win that game because the Texans' interior line is garbage times 18.
100% agree with that take that the offensive line versus defensive
What if
tackle
Nico's not playing?
I think the Texans are going to find a way to scheme it up where they win a game.
Regardless of if Nico is playing.
It's just a gut feel.
All right, well, I stopped trusting
Joe Mixon's going to run the ball.
Time ago.
Yeah, Joe Mixon's going to run the ball on like some sweeps, some stretch runs. Like we're gonna get it going.
Teams don't run on the Lions. The Lions run on you.
I will say the Lions are at least the first or second best team in football. I will 100% agree with that.
I think they're the first best team. I think they're both.
They're
the best team when they run the ball, Jahmyr Gibbs. They're the best team when they run with David Montgomery.
They are.
They're the best team when they throw the ball to their offensive linemen. They're the best team when the receivers throw the football to their quarterback. They're just the best team. They're the best when Aiden Hutchinson has legs that aren't broken. They're the best when Aiden Hutchinson has legs that are broken. They're just the best.
And they're 7-3, and they still
Mitchell,
win.
You're sounding like the fucking NFL Dr. Seuss right now.
Right,
7-2. What?
No. If they lose this week and they go 7-3, and then they win the division and they win out because they're pissed that they lost to the Texans, I will come back to this moment and tell you that's just football, baby. I have no idea why the Texans won.
That's fair. Finally, Monday Night Football, Dolphins Rams. Tommy,
give me the Fins, baby. Give me the Fins.
Tommy,
yeah,
I'm actually
their comeback game.
I'm actually taking the Dolphins to win this football game. I think that it's a bit of an offensive explosion, and the Dolphins find a way to win this. I think the Rams are getting a little bit too much love right now.
Are the Rams out of it, like playoff?
Oh, hell no. No.
So
even with a loss, they're not out of it. That division is it'll be uncomfortable if they lose and
that was kind of my point.
The Cardinals and Niners win, but they won't be out of it because I think the Seahawks are the team that confused me the most in that division because their offensive line's in such a bad place, and we've seen a lot of Jets Geno lately. And for those of you who ever watched Jets Geno, he stinks. So the Rams are kind of that team in the middle, but I think the Dolphins find a way to get the win.
Yeah, give me Dolphins in a shootout.
All right, we got a Dolphin sweep.
Like 65 points in that game or something. So yeah, give me a shootout.
All right, well, a nice Dolphin sweep, Tommy. That's got to make you feel bad. I'm just saying.
I hope to see it happen.
Sweep.
I'm glad that Brandon picked the Cardinals because now the Jets.
Is this week 10 like the
it's week
fourth quarter of TV where it's like sweeps week? That's what this is. It's sweeps week.
Something like
sweeps
that
across the board.
But all right,
we're putting our ratings. Our ratings are not good, Mitchell.
A decent enough week of football. Next, I'm looking at some of these games. There's a lot of trash, but there's also like Commanders, Eagles, Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Chargers. There's some good games, but there's also a lot of crap like Raiders, Dolphins, and Browns, Saints. So
do we want to update the 2024 season total picks so far?
do we want to? I think Tommy's been the one keeping track of
I
that.
have. So currently
Where are
going
we,
into
math
week,
boy?
Brandon
You might figure out why I wanted to update this.
Oh, I exactly know why. So Brandon
You
is
bitch.
currently in the lead at 92.
Oh man.
Connor's in
Oh man,
second.
I'm getting my dick kicked in.
Connor's in second with 89. I'm in third with 87. And Mitchell, trailing behind like the poor Patriots, is at 76.
Yeah. He's pretty bad.
I've just gotten too cute, you know?
No, and Mitchell, this is money line stuff, so we don't need to get cute. Like,
Oh, I know.
you're
Yeah.
getting mad at me about picking the Texans. It's just football, baby. We're just picking money line here. Like, oh, we do. No, I'm with you. The Lions might win by 30. I might look too.
Hey, we'll come back next week and we'll figure it out. So
I'll come on just for you, even if the Panthers lose. I'll come on just for you.
yeah, we're the Panthers are still in Germany. The USA refuses to bring them back.
Oh,
all right. Well, thank you for joining us. Hopefully it's just a good week of football. Hopefully the Jets win. Please, for my sanity. So, all right. Thank you.
Fair enough.
Bye-bye. Take care. Adios.